Okay, so last video I did mention about your birthday. This one's gonna be a little bit different. Um, for starters, notice you did not send me any messages back. I understand that. I never did apologize about what I said. So let's start this video off with apologizing. I am sorry. Not I'm sorry about I'm sorry about not listening to you, not trying to understand you in a sense, but most importantly, making judgment calls. And I should have been more elaborate to elaborate things on my the painting video I did. But it wasn't to taunt you, it wasn't to irritate you or anything like that. I was trying to express. It's kind of actually funny, really. I mean, part of me really did not have the slightest idea what the heck I was doing when I did that video. Um, Nevertheless, um, I'm sorry about offending you, making you angry. Naturally, with everything that I'm doing, I do want us to be friends again. Because I'd rather have you as my friend than nothing at all. I'm going to give you a little bit of a lowdown of how things been for me since you and I stopped talking. The following of what I'm going to say may irritate you, anger you even more. But I can swear to you without the utmost, it is the single most honest things I can say to you. You may not believe everything that I say. Heck, I don't even buy everything that I say. I don't trust my own thoughts. I don't trust my own character. I don't trust my own ambitions. Because I don't exist for myself. I don't live for myself. I hate doing it that way. I really do. I don't exist because my own ambitions. Sorry, yawn. I exist to help others because that's what I want. I want to make a difference in this world, and I'm doing so. At my school, I help all kinds of kids. You see people on them commercials, kids with autism, kids with cancer. I spend my day, my entire school day, helping them. My school, Northview, High School, I guess you could say it's a high school or not, I'm not sure. Um, it's a special school. Not just special as in unique, but special as in it helps kids with special needs. And who know? And lately, I've been helping everyone out there. It's become less about me doing my schoolwork than it's been really what it is to me, which is helping people, making the most of what time I got left, not just here on this planet, but here as me as a senior at that school. Because once when I graduate, I'm done. Although I may come back, who knows? I might even apply for a job there. I'm not saying that I like doing that kind of stuff. It's just, it's instinctive. And that's the whole point I'm trying to get at here. Not everything that I've done up to now involving you has been all pure, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. It's nothing like that. I mean, it is, but it only goes halfway. There is a reason for it all. A reason that's stronger than even just me liking you, me having feelings for you, me loving you. Don't get me wrong, that's the basis of my motivation. But it's not the drive that keeps me going, that keeps me trying. Because between you and I would have given up a long time ago. I'm not saying giving up on life, but giving up on me pining after you. I'm going to acknowledge that what I did was reckless, stupid, very stupid. Could have been handled a lot better. But my cause and point was, in case you don't remember, you and I were having a debacle, or as you say, a fight, whichever way you want to call it. I mean, my current views on the situation is that it was a fight. Conflict, whether it's verbal or physical, is a fight. I don't like war. I don't like fighting. I don't like any of that. I do the things I do to protect people. Not just simply because, oh, he wants to be some kind of superhero. Because I'm not. I don't have no super strength, no super speed. In fact, it actually angers me a bit. I get all the burdens that you see Spider-Man deal with and whatnot, but none of the spider strength and whatnot. I can still bleed, I can still die, I can still be killed. I don't have augmented, senses. I don't have biological armor. Whether it's a living parasite from another world or, like Iron Man armor that I've built myself. Although, chances are I probably could build myself my own armor. My intellect is such, but then again, I'm not much of a mechanical whiz kid, so probably wouldn't work that way. Um, what am I? Get this. Try to trying to spark, and it's difficult with this light blasting in my face. Um, uh, uh, um, what am I trying to say? Uh, what I'm trying to say is that there isn't anyone out there I'd rather be with than you. But this isn't just another, oh, Caitlin, I love you and I do anything for you and everything. I'm gonna explain to you because I need explanations myself for this. Now, as you know, back to the whole situation of why, it's drawn us both here. You and I had an argument. Well, fight. A fight. Verbal fight. Verbalized fight. Or whichever one you prefer to call it. I'm just using various different words, directly depicted. Um, about me being basically, in so many words, you want to call it a pessimist. Um, I can't say that I'm not. And everything you did say is basically right in a general sense. You're right. Every time, you said there's always something wrong with me. And there is. There is always something wrong with me. I'm not saying that it'll always be that way because I don't know. I'm pretty optimistic about the future. I've always been. It's the past and present that I have difficulty with. But as I say to myself every now and then, this too shall pass. Um, you kind of cut me off when we were talking because you didn't feel like talking anymore about the subject. It kind of hurt because, you know, I want us to be able to talk. Does everything we have to talk about has to be about the positive? Don't get me wrong. In a general sense, yes, it should. I mean, even I don't like being a pessimist. I don't like being Mr. Negative. I just am because that's what happens. And that's the difference between you and I. You're optimistic, larger than life, a shining star, diamond in the rough, if you want to call it, whichever whichever description or elaborate text you want to utilize for yourself. Me, I just take things as they are. I look on the TV and I see thousands of people dying. Some for a so-called justice cause, others for no apparent reason at all. Doesn't matter whether it's in America, Africa, Iran, Iraq, it doesn't matter, or Haiti. I personalize these problems because I don't want to exist in a world where there's nothing but conflict. Because in a world full of conflict, it really is a living hell. It is. America itself is built on conflict. But I'm not going to dwell on that right now. Because the fact of the matter is, no matter how much I wish and no matter how much I try, there's nothing I can do over there. Until I amass enough wealth or become old enough to join the army, if I decide to, although between you and I got no place in the army because I don't have the will to kill. If I have the will to kill, then I should have the will to take my own life. I realize my body doesn't work that way. Because for the death of me, I could long to die as much as I want. But I can't do that. And I won't do that. I have something to fight for, something to work towards. Obviously, that person, that thing is you. But it's not just about you. I'm gonna get more into detail about this um, in the second part of my vid because I'm kind of running short on minutes. So I don't know how I'm gonna spin this. Um, that is if I even do another video because um, I'm looking at my gauge and I'm doing pretty well. So, but that's besides the point. The point is when you blocked me off MySpace, basically was it devastated me. To this day, it devastates me. Nevertheless, though, I respected your decision. My response, my logical response, was that because you're the only person I actually talk to on MySpace, there's no point in me having it. So I promptly got rid of it. I deleted my MySpace account. To this day, I don't feel sorry for doing it. I mean, if it affected you in any way, then I am sorry about it. But you rejected me, so what am I supposed to do? Just leave it up posted? What's to be the point? I keep asking myself, what keeps me coming back? What keeps me having hope that you and I could be? It's not that I don't want us to be, I do. But let's face it, you're not interested in me. At least it doesn't seem like you are. You say you just want to be friends, but you don't seem to understand. At least I don't feel you understand. Your definition of friend and my definition, or perhaps two different things. I could be wrong, and if I am, again, if anything I'm saying is wrong, please correct me on it. Correct me. Just for that. That's all I am asking, is for you to send a message saying that I am wrong on whatever subject I'm talking about. I'm trying to level with you. I'm trying to explain to you everything I possibly can about this whole situation because nothing makes sense anymore to me. And I'm going to explain to you even more what doesn't make sense. But before there, let's get on the common basis of our our social etiquette skills, if that's such the case, or our social skills in general. I understand my flaws. I need to be more positive. And you know what? Surprisingly, this time I've had being away, not, having that seen you, it's allowed me to really evaluate myself. Look at myself and see exactly what I want, what I need, and how I can work towards getting them things. Not too long ago, I remember your dad or your mom when they sent me a message saying that I should focus on my family. And since I've received that message, about, I think it was like sometime last year, or was it? No, I think it was like in the spring or summer. Anyway, since then, I've devoted my life as such. And it's fair for that because my family is all I got left. I don't, again, as I said before, I don't live for myself. I live for others. I am a server. I exist to help other people. Not just simply because I have a skill that allows me to or a desire to, but because there's not enough people doing it. Sure, there's people fighting for cancer and whatnot, but there's so many people suffering, they just don't have the time. I'm putting forth the effort to assist them in that. That's my reason for existence. That's my hope. That's my purpose. That's my future. And I'm going to stick to that till I die. But, yeah, I've been evaluating things and I'm doing all right. School, I'm at the top of my game. I'm all right. I'm okay. Everything in my life is somewhat basically fine. My problem is when I get home. The truth is, despite your parents saying that I should focus on my own family members, there's not a single thing I can do for them. Not even my own nephew. Why? Because I'm constantly told that it's none of my concern. I have no power over the situation. What my sister does to my nephew, I have no power over. If I was the father, yeah, I could do something about it. But he hasn't seen his father in a while, so all I can do is be the best role model I can be for him. That's all I can do. As far as my mom goes, she's digging her own death. Constantly putting herself in situations that she kind of put herself into. One thing that I realize that makes me unique, perhaps more than possibly any other person I can even imagine, even, I know, I'm not afraid to admit when I'm wrong. I'm not afraid. If I've done something wrong or if I feel like I have something wrong, I automatically, without question, apologize. When I faked my death and told you and made it look like I was dead, it beckoned me. It destroyed me entirely, knowing that I committed such a heinous act. And what's even more sadder was the reason why I did it. Some can argue that it was for revenge because of, oh, you hurt my feelings. It wasn't even that. It was because I felt that I could never measure up to you. I could never be as good of a guy as, what's his name? Caleb or Cameron, whoever his name was. I didn't think I could be his equal. And it's not about being his equal. It's just about me being that person that you want to be around. I can have all the positive skills at my disposal, but if you don't want me, I can't force myself upon you. And God knows I wouldn't want to. I want to be welcomed in with open arms. This is what I do want to be with you, and I do want you. But I can't be doing, I can't be, this isn't the way it's supposed to be. So I would never do that. Even though I sent you another message, it isn't me being stubborn. It's not, oh, he wants to be arrested. No, I don't want to be arrested. In fact, if I really, really, if at anything, I would have just dropped this thing like I did the first time. The reason why I came back the first time, and that's before this time, because the other time, point is, the reason why I keep coming back is because of this here. And I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Even though I have a Bible, even though I've been raised a Christian, I don't entirely buy into God. I think it's all circumstantial. I'm not saying that that's how I am truly. I'm saying that I just have difficulty. I have doubt. Of course, I imagine almost everyone has doubt every now and then. I mean, that is what makes us human, isn't it? Is it not? My deal is, I've never been known to operate by my heart. I operate by this and this alone. I'm logical, straightforward and to the point. If I can't see it, I don't believe it. If there's, it has to be a fact. There's no ifs, ands, buts, or maybes. It's whether it is or it is not. Nothing more. I've been that way for a while now. And I realize I have a unique connection with God. One that I guess no one else can define. And I think that's what makes it so unique. Because no one else knows about it. We don't know about one another's connections to God. We all know that we have a connection to God. But as what that connection is like, we don't know. Because each connection to God is unique all on its own. Much like our designs physically. We're not all alike physically. We're all like snowflakes. We have a unique genetic compound that is all our own creation that God gave us. If we were all meant to be alike, then we would have been made alike. In general cases, we are alike as a species. We are all human. But there's variations of humans. And there are also variations of Christians. There are some that believe absolutely. There are some that go to church every day. And between you and I'm talking about my own family members. They go to church every day. Well, every Sunday. And even though they praise to God as much as they believe they do, they still commit not sin. It's nothing sinful, at least as far as I know. I'm fully acknowledging that I don't really know much about the Bible. I mean, other than, you know, I don't know much. I mean, I've told you before, I told you several times, I don't really read the Bible that much. Don't get me wrong, I have been lately, since you and I haven't been talking. I have been reading the Bible, I've been praying, I've been doing everything to try and figure out what am I supposed to do. Because this is more than just, oh, Christopher has a crush on someone. Christopher loves Caitlin. This is about what I'm supposed to do with my life. My reason for existing. And there are two forms of that existence. The existence that I created myself and the existence that I'm truly created for. I believe I'm created to help people because that's what I've been good at. It's what I like doing. It's one thing I'm passionate about other than you. Um, I don't know what else to say or what else I could be. Um, I what am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is that just because a person goes to church does not mean that they're justified. That's how I see it as. Believing in God is not just believing in an entity that just created us. It's about walking the path that He set for us. To have faith, to keep believing. Honor thy mother and father. It's been written in the Bible. I know family members that are basically justified in every way imaginable but that. And others, they have such disdain towards their own siblings. It could be the very thing that actually, that very one thing that prevents them from entering the gates of heaven. I don't know. All I do know is I can't operate by this alone anymore. Because what I feel is so much greater than that. When you were away, well, not when you were away, since you and I stopped talking and haven't spoke, I spent around in my room praying, asking God, please God, make her be the one. Make her be the one and only person that means anything to me. Because you know what? My real desire in life isn't a college. It's not a fancy spancy career. It's just to have one single person, girl, a girl that loves me. For every shade of darkness that I am, and for every shining bright of light that I am, and nothing else. All I want is love. All I want, all I need is your love. That's all I ever want. It's all I ever will want. It's interesting you happen to be a fan of Marilyn Monroe because she has there's a statement she's once quoted I can't remember the precise words, but in so many words she was saying, how can you expect to accept me at my best when you can't even tolerate me at my worst? And she's right. To truly accept a person is to understand them in every way, to accept them for the darkness that's within their hearts, the darkness that's within them, and the goodness that's within them. There's no either way or perhaps maybe. It's one way or the other. I need that. I know that. And I see that as you. I accept you unconditionally, Caitlin. Believe it or not, your flaws are actually attractive to me because they justify my pros as well as my flaws are counteracted by your pros. My negativity is countered by your positiveness. Your sense of negativity, in which you feel you can't trust anyone, is countered by my overwhelming desire to be with you. So, in a unique way, you and I are about just as much the same as we are polar opposites, which is very awkward. I'm going to split this video in two parts because there's much else I need to discuss with you. Also, before I sign this off, I have a message for you, Mr. Jones. You once asked me with the following word, if God was giving you such a sign, why wouldn't he have given me the same? I don't know. But if I do know one thing, is that if he did, it wouldn't justify anything. Because this would have been too easy. It would have been too easy to just simply have it, oh, Caitlin's dad sees the signs too. Everyone's happy. Christopher's welcomed in. But that's not what this is about. God's told me that this is about me wagering myself like a $1 bill in a gamble in which I have no guarantee I'm going to win or no guarantee I'm going to lose. All I can do is follow my heart and pray to God that I come out on top. And it's funny, really, because as logical as I am, there's no way in hell I would possibly be doing this. Because this is insanity. My logical mind says it is. My heart says this is justified. My heart tells me not to quit. I read the Bible every day, and you know what the message I get? You know what I hear from God telling me? Don't give up on Caitlin. Keep fighting for her. You want her. You truly want her. If you do, you'll keep going after her. You'll keep pursuing her. Not aggressively, but passionately. To the point where her father will be left with the ultimatum, as you are with the ultimatum. In the end, you'll either have to take that chance and let me in. Not because I'm asking you, not because you have to, but because I've got a feeling deep down inside of Caitlin. She already knows. And that's what I really think. I think that if God gave anyone the signs, it wouldn't be you, Mr. Jones, but your daughter, Caitlin Jones. she would have to acknowledge what she sees for herself and there confirm them to you in order for you to see them. This is about me proving my self-worth, proving to you, proving to Mrs. Jones, proving to all those people out there that are skeptical about trusting a random person. Sure, you never met me before. You're right. Me and Caitlin have never met in person before. Yet all the while, when me and Caitlin were friends, I saw all these photos of where she's been. And they were the same places I've been to. Branson, the St. Louis Zoo, the City Museum. These are places I've been to with my own family, my own father. The signs are real. The reason why I didn't respond for so long until now was because I was so certain in my head that these signs were just a figment of my imagination. I wanted to be so damn sure, and I don't mean to keep cursing, but it's to capitalize on how serious this situation is. This isn't a game. This is not, oh, some guy who just wants to get in my daughter's pants, some guy who's playing some wackadoo game with my daughter. No, it's nothing like that. And I never would play any kind of game that sinister, or any sinister of that matter, with your daughter. Believe me, I would never hurt your daughter. And if I did, or ever would, willingly, believe me, I'd take this belt that's right over here, that's on my pants, that I wear to school, and I would lash myself as if I was Jesus Christ himself. And I wouldn't stop until I bled. Insane? Yes, that is. And kind of inhumane. But that's a testament to how serious I am. A testament of how I'm really not out to do any harm to your daughter. Not to you, not to your daughter, to nobody. If I wasn't any more certain these signs were real, I would gladly just give up on all this and just let Caitlin be. Because it's not like I'm not capable of doing so. I am. I love Caitlin enough, and I think so negative of myself, it would be easy to do so. To prove this, look at me how I faked my own death. I didn't do it out of anger or frustration. I did it because it couldn't I couldn't see myself being a good influence onto her. So I did the only thing I was good at. Fucking things up. I messed up the one good thing I had because I felt I really had nothing to offer your daughter. While through her, I was able to see the light, I was able to see my future, I was able to see things, feel things I once forgotten. And what am I to give to her? My so-called words of wisdom, my intellect, my body. Is it of any use? Is it? Is it of any point of existence? At the time, I felt no. I thought no. But that's different now. Things are different now. And to answer your question, again, no. I believe that if the signs were truly meant for the opposite party, aka you and Caitlin's family and everyone else that's involved in this situation, The only other person that would be logically applied to would be Caitlin herself. And I think you know the reason why, Mr. Jones. Because despite everything you probably, chances are, and this is my hunch, it doesn't matter which kid you can imagine. Kids keep things hidden from their parents. There are things that kids will endure with so much pride and so much dignity to spare their family members, specifically their mothers and fathers, the pain and suffering of dealing with. When you consider that equation, the only logical person to be applied the science would be Caitlin herself. Because, like me, she doesn't believe necessarily in anything she can't feel. The only thing she feels is God's warmth. And I'm more than certain that's already been enough for her to confirm her own beliefs, as well as my own. Caitlin knows. She knows. Maybe not immediately in the mind, but in her spirit, in her soul, she knows that I'm right. The fact that there were so many random people, think about it. So many random people capitalized on Caitlin's birthday. I wouldn't know this for a fact, but I'm pretty good with calculation. And I gotta say, just as much as you know about me, Mr. Jones, I know just as much about Caitlin. Of course, I can't confirm those because I've never met her in person. But I've got to say, so far, every little hunch I've had has been correct. That's not a bad thing. It just means that just like you have me under my thumb, I'm aware of you guys as well. And that's all I want, is for all of us to be aware. Caitlin's aware of the signs, and I'm more than certain she's seen them before. Keep in mind that the Lord works in mysterious ways. Every Christian knows that. If God really operated in the way we wanted him to operate, the lesson, the purpose, for whatever objective God would have for us would never be learned. Because believe me, if I had it my way, I would have asked God to just specifically tell you to give me a chance. Just one random chance, because that's really all I need. Because remember, I said before, you give me a chance to work under you, a chance to work at the church. You can feel free to observe me in every way imaginable. I actually promote it. You feel that I'm doing something inappropriate, you can arrest me right then and there. I won't fight you. I'm not going to fight you. I'm not going to fight anybody. Am I going to quit with these messages? No. I'm sorry, Mr. Jones, but I can't do that. Not because I love your daughter so much that I don't want to let her go, but because God's telling me to keep doing this. And I know for a fact that if my heart is beating, and if my heart's telling me to do this, it's the right thing to do. Because if there's one thing I do know about myself, my heart is never wrong. It is never wrong. I've been able to calculate every traumatic event that happened in my life. I anticipated my father's death. I anticipated my sister getting pregnant. I anticipated having a nephew. I anticipated my mother going with another man immediately after my dad's death. I anticipated my older sister going to a far-off college, leaving me to deal with the rest of the calamity that's amongst myself, or amongst my family members. I'm carrying their torches. And despite the fact that it's overwhelming for me, I'm glad of it because it's made me a stronger person. Because if I have to carry their bodies, their problems, and their burdens, the least I can do is pursue the one thing in my life that means worth dying for. And believe me, Mr. Jones, your daughter is worth dying for. I don't know what I am supposed to be for Caitlin. Because I love her, I'm assuming that I assumed and I said that we were supposed to be fate. And maybe we are. But I realize it's more than just that. It's more than just me loving your daughter. I'm supposed to be some kind of guardian. I know this. Because every now and then I get some weird aching hunch that Caitlin is in danger. That something is wrong. The intensity varies at times. Sometimes it's subliminally high, and other times it's not. Sometimes when I sleep, I can actually see her crying. And it be so clear as day. So clear I could almost swear, if my mind was not fully twisted, I would almost say I could be seeing her right in front of me and wouldn't even know it. I hope that this video explains to everyone my cause. And I apologize for what I'm doing and what I'm going to continue doing. I'm not crazy. And I'm done calling myself crazy. I'm just tired of doing it. It's not fair to call myself crazy anymore. Because there's so many crazy things going on in the world that we justify. And for me to have just one ambition, one desire, that actually, if everyone else knew, they would call it stupid, selfish, shameful even. I know they would, because everyone's telling me I'm supposed to focus on schoolwork. And Caitlin's the only person that actually knows. I really don't care about school. If it was up to me, they'd just give me that diploma right now. And I'd just be on my way. That's about it. I'll be praying for you, and I hope you understand. I'm not your enemy. I am not your enemy. I acknowledge that there are thousands of men out there, thousands of men, thousands of boys, comparably from Caitlin's age to my age and beyond, that seek nothing but to do harm to her. But I'm not one of them. I am not one of them. I never was, nor will I ever be, nor will I ever be. I know this because I hate men. I hate humanity. My faith in humanity is less than that of I have in myself. And if there's anything you guys should know or know already, it's that really the responsibility, the pride I take in myself, it's about as minor as pride a person could have in this economy. And with as crappy as it is, that's saying something. Keep in mind, as I said, Mr. Jones, in my message, I wouldn't put myself out there like this. Put myself on a platter in such a way that you would be able to pacifically and easily be able to nail me on the wall like roadkill. You know, like you hunt for roadkill, but that's the point is, I wouldn't make myself so vulnerable unless it was for a justified cause, or at least a cause I firmly believed in. I'm not mentally insane, because if I was mentally insane, I would have utilized all resources to pursue Caitlin. I gave way to 3 months. I stayed away for 3 months out of respect for you and for your daughter. I wouldn't even be back now unless I thought it was of something important. Something that was nagging me to the point where I felt I was going to lose my mind. And that was the point. The more I ignored God, the more the signs kept coming. And it got to the point where I was hit with them every single day. And I swear to you, if I was allowed to bring in people, the people up there at that school who witnessed these signs myself, because they know. Don't get me wrong, I didn't tell them the full story about Caitlin. But they know there's someone out there that I'm pursuing. Someone out there that I do love, that I would die for, that I want so badly. And that God's telling me to. Despite the fact that the girl doesn't seem to want me at all. And that her parents are anywhere from close to having me nailed on a chalkboard to having me arrested in a heartbeat. And I know this all the while. Yet, I'm just trucking on through. Not even giving another thought for my consequences. And believe me, if there's one thing I do know, I always evaluate my consequences. In fact, that's what makes me a pessimist. Because with every choice, there is a consequence. There's always going to be something to pay. But for me, it's not the ones around me that suffer the most. It's me, myself. Because I have no ambition. I can't strive to obtain something, an inanimate object. Ooh, I want a camcorder. I immediately reject that. I say no to camcorders. I say no to phones, Game Boys, electronics, Halo, and video games. I don't care about that stuff. I use electronic devices as a means to an end. Temporary self-sustenance. That's all it is. And in technicality, even that doesn't justify it. Because really, to be honest, between you and I, we already know. All I need is food, shelter, and God. That's all I need. 3 essential things. The only 4th thing I want in this world is Caitlin, to be by my side as I live my life to the fullest. I'm living my day, each day, like it's my last. And this is the last. And if I'm destined to die, if I'm destined to die soon, which God forbid I am, because I really don't think my time is yet to come. I'm too young to die. But if I'm going to live my life each day, it's my last. I can't be scouring about or quitting on my ambitions, however few, nor however stupid they are, just because I feel they're impossible. The fact that I don't have that much faith in this whole situation proves that it's God pushing me through this. Even now as I'm speaking, I can guarantee you, before long, I'm going to give you the coordinates of where I live. Not only where I live, but the school that I go to. Because I want Caitlin to go to the school prom, my school prom with me. So she can experience prom and see me face to face, see me in all the light and darkness that I am, full front and center. And then she can make the evaluation of whether or not I'm worthy or not. And that's if she doesn't have feelings for me already. My heart says she does. But me being me, I say it's all up in the air. I want Caitlin to have feelings for me. But whether she does or not, I can't say for sure. My heart says yes, but my mind says we don't know. And I think it's better to stick with we don't know. Because should this all fail, Should this all come crashing down, and it turns out I've been pursuing something that I never was going to get in the get-go, the pain I feel afterwards, it won't hurt as much. My standards, I won't I won't get so optimistic about this that when it falls to the ground, I'll cry as much. Don't get me wrong, it'll hurt like it'll hurt. It'll hurt like it'll be like witnessing my father's death all over again. That's the only thing I could compare it to. But this is what God wants me to do. And that much I gotta do. Again, soon enough, I'll give you the coordinates of where I live and where school I go to. And it'll be your decision, Mr. Jones, whether to give those coordinates to the cops and they can come and arrest me, or you could come there, or you can come here yourself, or Caitlin could come here. I prefer, though, that if she does come, that you come with her, as I'm pretty sure you would do naturally, and I wouldn't have it any other way, because I don't want us to be enemies. I don't want you to dislike me. I don't want you to hate me. I want you to understand me, that I'm just simply a messenger carrying out God's will. Because that's really all I am. I'm just a tool, an instrument. Nothing more, nothing less. For all I know, that may be all that I really am. It's just a tool, a disposable tool. That's how I've been to most people. But for the first time, I'd be happy to be used by God, because the reason would be justified. In any case, this is it. This is me saying ciao. It's been wonderful. It really has. Been something amazing. This journey I've been on so far is what I mean. And I always imagined from the beginning, when I first started talking to Caitlin, I was so sure. How could this possibly be the one? I remember what I did, long before I even did the little suicide thing. Telling Caitlin what kind of girls I'm attracted to, as if it's justified for me to have a type. I've never been with anyone. Caitlin's actually more along the rankings than I am. At least she's been with another person before. At least she's been on a date, been with guys before, been with somebody. I've never been kissed. I've never been loved. I've never been pined for. I've never been anything. All of those things I've had to induce on myself for other people. And unfortunately, the people that I had feelings for did damage to me that I don't think you could ever possibly imagine. Combined with my abusive childhood, I can't say I'm sorry for being as negative as I am. It's actually difficult for me to feel sorry for why I hate people. Especially when I'm constantly reminded every day on the television set that people are only as good as they make themselves out to be. We are capable of unspeakable good, or we are capable of unfathomable good, or either unspeakable evil. But either way, it's our decision. It's our choice. It's the choice that we make. God gave us sentient minds, which means He doesn't control our thoughts. He tells us what we should do, but it's up to us to actually do it. He gives us something to do, but it won't be done unless we step forward and pick up the shovel and start digging, or whatever we're supposed to do. That's all I have to say about that. And that's all. I'll see you. I'll send you a little message later. And for what it's worth, I'll give you a little screening. I'll give you a little screening of my nephew Thomas. Believe it or not, I got a hunch he's also involved in this cosmic, this situation. As I'm sure you're aware, he has said his first words. And if I'm not mistaken, if I've not forgotten, I'm pretty sure I told you. One of the very first words he said was Kate. And guess what? He said that name without the slightest urging on my behalf. I didn't coax him into saying Caitlin's name. I didn't try to teach him to sing it or anything. Very much like the signs when they first started appearing, it just happened randomly out of a whim. That's God. That's fate. The key point is to listen out for him. You know what to do from there. After all, you guys are more in tune with God than I am. And if I can see him as well as I do, surely the sight you guys have is more than twice that. In any case, this is bye. Live peace and live long and prosper.